What's up, family? This is your boy Juro. I want to put this out real quick because I see something. I see that there's a commonality out there in social media. And there was always this dialogue of there's always been a dialogue that in the intended moment and intended time, like-minded folks, like-minded people would find themselves because there's either a purpose or a moment that they must come together. There's an understanding, unspoken, that binds them together. And I would be remiss not to convey this to you. Two things. No matter what your environment is, no matter what makes up your circumstances, no matter what is or what has access to your life, the underlining theme is the fact that you have gotten to a point in your life where you have identified that you deserve to be appreciated. And I just want to take a second right now to convey to each and every one of you, first of all, thank you for being transparent. Because the greatest resource that you'll ever be able to possess temporarily is your time. Now, what's sad is, unfortunately, only a select few will understand the value of what's being bestowed. And possibly some of that is because of the fact that what has been the influence, what has been the underlying theme in that, it has not been marginalized to see the impact that it has. But I'm here to tell you this. From the bottom of my heart, who I am, from the words that are conveyed to you, first and foremost, come from a divine place. Nothing is written down. I'm a strong proponent of synchronicity, and I truly understand that everything that is being shown, everything that is being articulated, everything that is conveyed from me comes from a place of understanding. Why? Because I believe that from humanity, we all have a story. We all have a purpose. But it's not until we're able to wipe away the distractions, the disillusion, the fear, the pain, the anguish, and the motivating tactics that keep us from connecting to our greatest self. Because what's at stake is this. It's called your legacy. You know, it's kind of ironic because there was a lot of vibrato being put out there in social media talking about why the term king and queens were so infiltrated in social media. And what a lot of people don't know is nobody was using that term until I was. And the sole reason why I did that was at the minimum position that I could convey, I wanted to show respect. Because what's at stake is the impact of the words conveyed from my heart, from my spirit, to the intended heart and intended mind. But see, when you look on social media today, it's from a place that's unsavory. When you listen to those who have been selected to have a platform, it's always from a place of self. It seems like everything is under a placement of envy, not growth. Now the irony is, I've been around on YouTube since 2012. And today, I made a point to go on my channel, and I looked and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled. And while I was scrolling through, I was looking at my mortality. I looked at the various hairstyles and the clothes I wore, but the biggest thing that I noticed is while I was looking at the thumbnails, I was looking at my face, my eyes, and the determination of trying to convey one simple message. Because the whole reason that I came to YouTube was the fact that it was depicted or was based off of a heartbreak. And I was devastated. But collectively, I look back at the choices I made prior to that relationship, searching for the commonality. Because that man at one time was an adolescent. And that adolescent teen at one time was a child, was a little boy. And that little boy had eyes of optimism, unconditional to the world. And as much struggle and strife that was possibly self-induced or exposed through environment, the one thing that I learned was no matter what I have to endure, I will not allow it to destroy or impact my heart. Because I know that inside of me, love lives. So many times that I would question things and I would ask why the world reacts and operates the way it does. But what was so baffling was the effect that it had in a town near you, a city near you, a state near you, worldwide. Because the commonality, the thread that bound us all is called humanity. And how sad we have forgotten. And the price for that is simply this. How can you strive for your future if you've forgotten your past? Now, granted, your foundation of your past does not define what your future is, but it has an impact. But the key is this: love conquers all. That is why relationships fail and will continuously crumble, because we as human beings refuse to look within ourselves, to allow ourselves permission to connect with the voice within, so that it cultivates what we know as our self-worth. It finds comfort in that sacred voice called you. But what is sad in today's Sanders is this: until you are willing to reconnect to who you are. See, a lot of people get it mixed up because they fail to realize this. You know, the person in the mirror that wakes you up every morning and at times says goodnight, your reflection. See, they know the real you. They do not agree with the representative. And at times, the frustration that is felt is nothing but your true voice of you saying, come back to me, protect me, hear me. But that cannot be until you're willing to commit to you. And not to sound trite, that is why the example of so many people that are living in abundance today is substantial. Why? Because, see, the trade-off is not for you to define you, to claim you, to enhance you. So some, proverbially, they have a price tag financially to compensate the representative known as your emotions. But what is so ironic is this: even though we live in the now, we don't think about tomorrow. But the one thing what we don't acknowledge is the fact that if and when that time comes, when your last breath is present, you can't take it with you. And the things that were chosen, the decisions that were made, even in fear, impulse, or instability, those will be the things that will last beyond your physical being. It's called your legacy. So what am I saying? If you're living in regret, if you have self-doubt, if you're dealing with depression, all things can be changed the moment that you love you. Love. Some of you don't even realize you're on the threshold of your better days. Some of you may not even realize that the choices that were made were nothing but placement holders out of protection by way of teaching you what you need compared to what you want. See, you know how people say imitation is flattery? But even imitation can't hold a candle to the original, and that is your life. How much do you think it's worth? I say priceless. So yes, you're going to make some decisions that is going to require you to make some concessions. But when it comes to you, do you not think that you're worth it? Because I'm here to tell you, the people in the cheap seats, they already know that. So that's why they talk reckless to you. That's why they show disrespect. That is why they don't respect your time. They do that because of two things. They knew that from the first hello, in the moment that you gave access to them, that the requirement would be painstaking. They knew that to have access unconditionally, they would have to exhibit not only through behavior, but through transparency. That's one of the reasons why relationships fail. But what I find ironic is this. Even though you're entitled to an opinion, it is always those that have the most visceral reaction, the most discontent, but want the same. They want the same validation. Why? Because they have yet and will not do the work. All I'm going to say to you is this. Your best days are coming. You're worth it. The most priceless gift that someone could bestow to a person is not found in a store. It is the ability to be present and to witness growth. Why? Because the trade-off is time. Something that mankind unconditionally has to respect, but will never have enough. So value your time. Value your time. I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to look at my content. I look forward to future conversations that we will share and opinions, because I'm a firm believer of each one, teach one. Because what's at stake will be the trajectory as what we know is mankind. You're worth it. I hope you have a great weekend. And always place them first. And remember, energy out is energy returned. Never lose focus of that. But how can you? Because you're blessed. Peace.